Hello and welcome back to Pilates with Marilyn. I'm Marilyn Harder, Pilates instructor and Pilates master trainer. This week we will do core work and Pilates work for those with neck issues. So what you'll need today is a pillowcase. So you're going to want to fold the pillowcase in half, hot dog style, and then in half again, hot dog style. So we're going to go through our workout today with options to help connect without detracting or putting pressure into the neck. So I've set my pillowcase down, starting with some of the basics. Laying down can sometimes be issue or problematic for those with neck issues. So coming down on your side, supporting in your strongest side, you can even support your head and neck, coming down onto the shoulder and working your way down. Then rolling over onto your back. This is also great for anyone that has osteoporosis or disc issues within that low back lumbar spine. So we're going to start with our warm-up. As always, it's our pelvic tilts with our breath. So let's take our hands into that diamond and make sure your neck is elongated and supported. You can always use things like pillowcases to fold up and prop up the head if laying totally flat does not feel right for your body. So today I put my bun in a place that would mimic an angle that's often with neck issues, and I'm going to bring my pillowcase up to support. So palms flip up towards the ceiling, shoulder blades shimmy back and down, diamond position, thumbs below the belly button, fingertips towards that pubic bone. Big inhale in, expanding that rib cage. Exhale, blow out all that air. Roll that imaginary marble towards the belly button. And then inhale, elongate back out. And exhale. And inhale, open and follow the natural curvature of the tailbone. Notice that your head should not be moving in space at all. If it is, you might need to support that head just a bit more by maybe folding up another towel or pillowcase, creating a greater prop to meet your head where it's at. Now let's exhale, pull it all the way down into that imprint, finding the connections. Glutes are on and firing. Press down through the arms. You can take the arms wider and even flip the palms up towards the ceiling if you feel any strain in the neck. Let's draw one knee up into tabletop, and we'll single leg toe tap, maintaining imprint. I find the wider the hands are, the less we're going to recruit those neck muscles. So play with that angle that feels best to your body. I like a low V. Pilates was one of those things that in the beginning I identified with, my neck hurts and I don't know how to fix it. The weakness is the deep neck flexors. So give yourself a double chin and draw your head into the pillowcase. Now go ahead and set it down and switch. Other things that are an issue is sometimes we have very tight upper traps. So if we keep all of our tension in our shoulders and neck, we tend to integrate the neck muscles into anytime we use our arms. So that's why we're playing with our arms in space to find a really disengagement or a separation of the arms and the neck. So last toe tap here. Set both feet down and we're going to float our hands up towards the ceiling. Palms are going to face each other, and I want you to notice in my body how my shoulders have rounded up off the floor. That's really common in integrations of neck and traps. So I'm going to try and drop the long bone of the arm down to the floor. Let it go. Now you may feel some tugging in the front of your neck. That's a good thing. We're separating those muscles. Now Draw the shoulder blades back and down. I said tugging, not pain, so listen to any pain points. And let's protract, reaching your fingertips up towards the ceiling. And then let that long bone of the arm thunk down. Separate and elongate. I feel a tug on my left side. So that means my daily movements has allowed my mobility of the humerus or long bone of the arm to be integrated with that neck. Okay, I'm gonna go one more protraction and retraction now. I'm gonna go more active. So I want you to try and squeeze your shoulder blades together. Let those arms open to the point where you feel the neck sort of disconnect. Make sure the rib cage is down. And then let's go ahead and protract and reach those fingertips up towards the ceiling, meaning that the shoulder blades separate, not the chest rounds or activates. And then draw the shoulder blades back together. You can open those arms as much as you need. And then really protract, reaching them away. And then retract, draw them together, pause and hold. Now keeping the back of that armpit down your back, we're still keeping the core nice and active. We're gonna scissor those arms. I like to start with an activation that's gonna separate the movement or mobility of the arm bones from the activation of the neck. So maybe your range is really small in keeping it out of that integration. So we want the arms to move independent from neck activation. So I said a lot of words there, but that's the overall goal. Last one, scissoring those arms. Let's go ahead and bring them both down, and we're taking them into arm circles. Palms flip up, start to sweep them open and up. And if you feel the neck tug, slow down, go a little slower. Take a big breath here, try and expand the rib cage, drawing your shoulders back and down. Exhale, close the ribs, start to draw those arms up and over. We've done arm circles in previous workouts. Remember that the chest wants to activate and pull the arms off the floor, that long bone of the arm off the floor. So we want to keep the head, if you will, or the top of that bone of the arm, right at the joint, anchored down. So we really want to drive that down as it comes through. And let's go the other direction. Taking that arm up and over, don't let it round off. And let's circle it up only as far as we can go without disconnecting. You may notice I get a little hypermobile as I'm doing this, meaning my elbows extend, so I got to make sure I feel my bicep activate to keep my arm in alignment. Otherwise, I tend to disconnect. And when I stay connected versus disconnecting, I feel a greater stretch where I want to in front of the shoulder. All right, so that was 3 total. Now, let's take the hands back down by the side, shake anything out that you need to. Float the knees up into a tabletop position. As you're in that tabletop position, make sure we're in a deep imprint, drawing in those abdominals, tailbones elongated away, and we're going to toe tap from here at the top. Now, if you feel any integration like tugging on your neck behind, give me a deep double chin. You can always take one foot, set it back down, and work on this. If putting your arms flat hurts your neck, bend at the elbows. Think about that integration point of shoulders and the neck and try and take pressure off of it. Activating deep neck flexors here. My ribs want to pop. Try not to let them. Good. And we'll go ahead and go 2 more. Once you're even from right to left, remember glutes should stay active to hold the weight of the leg. And let's set one foot down to the floor, then the other, and then we're going to unfold that pillowcase underneath your neck. Now, if you have the mobility and are able to do a chest lift, you just bothers you, it feels like it's weighted into the back of the head, this is going to be for you. If you have any other structural issues within the neck and you know that it causes nerve pain or there is any sort of fusion there, don't go into chest lift, go second set of toe taps. All right, I'm hanging onto the pillowcase. My elbows are pointed forward and I'm gonna draw my elbows down to the floor just a bit, just slightly lifting my head off of the floor. Now, let your head be in that hammock. Let it relax. Now, elbows are pulling towards the hip bones. I want you to exhale, close the ribs, lever up, and elbows pull forward. Imagine you're in an ab roller. My neck is on a vacation, and I feel a good deep activation in through the core. And inhale, lower it down. Now this does take some lat strength, that muscle back and down here, to hold the pillowcase. So make sure the long bone of the arm is being pulled down to the mat. Exhale, chest lift up. Take a nice inhale there. Now, if you can hold it, chest lift up 1 more inch. Double chin to activate the front of that neck, pulling into the weight of the towel and slowly lower it down. Bonus of this way of exercising, even for those that don't have neck issues, you get a mad tricep work here. Let's do that again. Big inhale in at the bottom. Exhale, chest lift up. Pulling the elbows to the hips, closing the ribs, levering at that rib line. Pause there. Take an inhale. Exhale, chest lift up 1 more inch. And slowly lower it back down. Good. One last one. If you need a break in the triceps, just wiggle the fingers. Last one. Bonus, you're working your grip strength. Exhale, chest lift up. If you take your pointer finger and thumb off and grip with your pinky ring and middle finger, you're really working the strength of your planks, whether you know it or not. Exhale, come up 1 more inch. And slowly lower it all the way back down to the bottom. All right, we're gonna slide that towel out, take it up over your chest. Now I want you to try and pull open the arms and draw the shoulders back and down your back. We're gonna float the knees up into a tabletop, making sure you're nice and imprinted. And now I'm going into an alternating toe tap. Tapping my right leg down, I'm gonna lift and pull my left arm up. And I'm pulling against the towel, or the pillowcase, to create connection and bring it back up center. Now, if this bothers your neck and you miss the pillowcase from underneath your head, you use 2 pillowcases. One to support underneath your head, the second to create activation or lat activation, keeping the movement of the arms activated downward to the hip and away from the neck. Well, again, lots of words. If that made no sense, just know pulling open on the towel is going to help free your neck mobility. Okay, last one. And now we'll set that toe down, set the other down, and let our arms be alone. Okay, we're gonna take that towel or that pillowcase, wrap it up, and it's gonna support our head in that side lying position. You can either pack a few towels up, or you can tuck your head under, or your arm under, with that pillowcase between your head and your arm. That way the neck can be in a fully relaxed position in the side lying space. Now give me a deep double chin, pull the rib cage in, tailbone reaches away, and we're going into some basic clams. Heels together. Let's open up the knees. So this is going to be some of our prep work for our bridges. Keeping the body in good solid alignment, focus in on activating the deep corner of the bun, or that glute med, to open up the knee and resist gravity back down. Now keep checking in with our neck. So neck friends, we somehow have convinced our body, or our body has convinced us, that when we help with our neck or we brace with our neck, it's gonna help whatever's happening in the rest of your body. So be very mindful of your neck and really trying to just let it go. And that's the goal with the propping, is to try and just let it go. Also, if you separate your jaw and just let it relax. We automatically turn off a lot of the scalene muscles and the SCM that is part of our support of that jaw. And we'll go one more. I love clams, clams for everyone. Hold it up there. Let's go up an inch, down an inch. There's a lot of other sideline work we could do. The longer that the leg is though, fully extended away, the greater the load in the counterbalance, meaning that we're more likely to activate the neck to try and hold the weight of an elongated leg versus holding the weight of a shortened leg in clams. And we'll go last one and relax. So with that, we're going to do 2 sets. So I want you to just let your neck go, reset if you need to. Make sure your bottom rib is lifted, restacking, always going for our best version of alignment, activating that bottom inner thigh, and lift and lower. Now, your only job, pay attention to your neck. Let it go. Well, I guess we have more than one job. Second job, make sure you feel it in the right place. Once you do though, let your neck go and just stay focused, maybe even close your eyes on letting that neck go. It's on vacation. And last one, hold it up there. Tiny little lifts and lowers. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax it on down. All right, from this position, we're going to press ourselves up to a seated position. I like to tuck one knee in and kind of tuck my leg back and then press through to try and keep my neck in a most supported position as I come up. Rolling up is not always the best for any neck discomfort. We're going to stretch that glute med here in a rotation stretch. So I've got one leg in butterfly, the leg I just worked into a high knee position, and I'm going to just rotate towards that knee. Gives me a little stretch through the back, push it through. If you prefer a different stretch and have the flexibility to do so, such as like stacking the legs one on top of the other and hinging forward, go for that release as well. Okay, we're going to take one more good deep breath. And let's roll or lay down the other direction. I'm going to bring my towel with me and carefully come down. Again, you can always support your neck as you come down. Sideline. It's also a great way to come down for any osteoporosis or disc issues. My head is supported here. Ribs are stacked. Bottom rib is lifted. Hip reaches away. Head elongates. Bottom inner thigh activates. Oops, I lost my elongated rib. Stripes are your friends in the mirror. And let's go ahead and lift and lower. So remember, 2 jobs. Job number 1, make sure you're feeling it in the right place. Job number 2, can you fully relax your neck and head? And if not, add more props to relax that space. This side is not wanting, there it is. Did not want to relax as well as the other, but I found it. So sometimes it just takes a little curiosity and exploration. Don't forget to use that exhale to really find that core. So when we strengthen the corners of our glutes, they help us in our bridges. Now, bridges are sometimes not fun with people with our neck impingements. So I always encourage smaller range of motion bridges. So sometimes bridges are not fun for those with anything going on in their neck. So I encourage small range of motion bridges. Let's lift the knees open and tiny little pulses up an inch, down an inch. However, when you're doing a small range of motion bridge, it's a little harder to engage your glutes. So when you start with things like the sideline glute, our glutes are primed. They're ready to go. Last one, bring it down and relax. We're going to do one more set, then we're going to roll onto our backs and find our stretch as well as our half range bridges. All right, second set, activate that bottom inner thigh. Make sure your neck is let go. Deep double chin, activate the front of the neck. And let's lift and lower. Sometimes I like to close my eyes, along with separating the teeth, allowing the jaw to relax, to really focus into the release space. We'll go ahead and go 2 more. Don't know if you noticed, but I had to adjust myself because my neck started turning on this side. Hold it up there. Engage and release. So the body has a really sneaky way of compensating very small and slow over time. That's why I always continually to remind you to revisit things. Last one. Woo, and done. Let's roll over onto the back. You can use that pillowcase for now to support your head as we go into our figure 4 stretch. So you can flex or point the toes, whatever feels right to your body. Use your Pilates breath. Really focus on mobilizing the rib cage and activating the core. And release, and let's go and just give ourselves a stretch on the other side in case you didn't get a good one the other side. Now our pillowcase is going to have to come out from underneath our head because we don't want to lift our hips with our head in an upward angle. It'll cause some tension or potential issues, especially those that already have some neck things going on. So let's go ahead and take that pillowcase out. Hands are down by our sides. And we're going to explore just small range motion bridges. I find bending the elbows is always friendly if pressing those hands down cause neck activation. And we're going to take a big inhale in. Think about good deep neck flexor activation. Press those feet, dig through the elbows and lift our hips just 2 inches. Can you feel the glutes squeeze? Does your neck feel free? You should be able to slightly wiggle right to left, but don't turn your head. And then lower the hips back down. We want to push the feet, squeeze the buns, and add some lift. So push the feet, squeeze the buns, add some lift, and lower back down. Now, if you're having a hard time feeling your glutes here, you might have really tight calves. We talked about this in one of the first episodes, that if you have really a hard time engaging the glutes in bridge positions like this, especially after the sideline work we just did, you want to make sure that you are stretching your calves before you get into your work. And I believe it was episode 2 or episode 3 if you want to go back and revisit. All right, now this last one, I want you to hold it up there. Now hold it up there, see if you can release one glute, and it'll slightly tap the ground. Squeeze it and bring it back up. Release the other glute. Squeeze it and bring it back up. Height is part of the full range of motion, but full range of motion should be pain-free. So if it's painful or you feel pressure in places you know you shouldn't, small range of motion is just as good. It's much better to be working towards opening the hips in small range than just ditching it altogether. We'll go last one each way. And let's bring it all the way down to the bottom. All right, one final thing here before I let you guys go today. We're going into an articulating bridge, curling up. And this is where your exploration is going to come in. Palms flip up to the ceiling, try and get those shoulders back and down. Then you can bend the elbows. I like palms to face towards me. You can already see that my shoulder kind of wants to round forward, and that's the side of the neck that bothers me. So the more I draw it back, the safer my neck is going to feel. Okay. Now, I also like to open my arms out like a W because it will help with the activation down the back. Okay. Now I'm going to inhale there. Exhale, curl the tailbone, draw in the abdominals, and I'm gonna just press the feet, squeeze the buns, and curl it up to the point where I feel safe. My focus here is on when my neck says, and today it's right about there. And I'm gonna pull it down, pulling that rib cage down, rolling and elongating the spine as I reach the tailbone away. So I do tell people to elongate the spine on the way down on the bridge a lot. So how do you do that? So on the way down on your next bridge, I want you to pause before you make your way down. Curl your heels towards your glutes just a bit. And then while you're pulling your heels towards your glutes, start to lower that bridge one vertebrae at a time. Feel how each vertebrae maybe got a little bit more open, a little bit more elongated. That's our goal. Last and final one. Use that elongation trick. See if you can keep those heels peeling towards the glutes. And notice, maybe you can get a little higher. It's one of the tricks to keep it out of your neck is to pull your heels towards your glutes. And roll it back down. One vertebrae at a time, all the way down to the bottom. And that's it for me today. Let those knees roll to one side. You can take the arms out wide, and then let your neck head turn to one direction, getting a really good stretch. Remember that rotation should happen in the rib cage, but it should feel controlled. Now as we go to the other side, try and draw the hip down using the abdominals, and slowly allow yourself to roll the other way. Allowing that rotation to come from the rib cage, not the lumbar spine or low back. It's thoracic is our rib cage. And then go ahead and draw that hip back down using an activation of the core. Safe ways to roll up, roll towards. For me, if this side bothers me, I want it on the down side when I come up. That way, the side that doesn't bother me is lifting or holding my head up as I come up to that seated position. So with that is some of my best tips and tricks for those with neck pain and discomfort. Just know there's a ton out there. So it's far better to move your body than be prisoner by your body. So find things that work for you and ditch the rest. There's no need to move in a way today that makes you painful or inhibit movement tomorrow. Always move in a way today that allows ourselves to keep coming back, keep enjoying our body, and of course, enjoying life. So thank you so much for joining me today in Pilates with Marilyn. And thank you for your self-care. You are worth it.